This is my presentation on the philosophy found within The Legend of Zelda. The Legend of Zelda is a video game series developed by Nintendo on February 9th, 1986. The series features recurring characters across many timelines who adopt the same role. The series tackles the philosophical concepts of good versus evil, reincarnation, free will, and many more. In The Legend of Zelda, the world was created by three goddesses. Din, the goddess of power, created the land. Nehru, the goddess of wisdom, created order. And Pharaoh, the goddess of courage, created all of the life. The creation story in Zelda offers a pluralistic view of reality, because reality is composed of more than one thing. The world in The Legend of Zelda consists of at least three different fundamental things: the physical world created by Din, the order, which would be like the laws of physics or gravity, created by Nehru, and finally, life itself, created by Pharaoh. This aligns with the real world view encompassed by pluralism. Pluralists believe that reality consists of more than one fundamental thing. After creating the physical world, the order, and the life, the three goddesses departed back into the heavens. However, they left behind a sacred relic known as the Triforce. The Triforce is made up of three separate parts. Each piece represents one of the goddesses. The Triforce represents the necessary balance between power, wisdom, and courage. It is the ultimate force behind all things. The Triforce has the ability to grant the wish of anyone who acquires it, but a proper balance of wisdom, power, and courage is necessary to unlock its full potential. This is similar to the real-world concept of the yin and yang. The yin and yang represent the opposing forces that continuously keep the world in flux and create change. The idea behind the yin and yang, much like the Triforce, is that one must reconcile different parts of themselves to unlock a true potential. Plato and the tripartite soul. Plato was born in Athens, Greece, and was a student of Socrates. Some of his most famous ideas include his theory of forms, his definition of knowledge as justified true belief, and his theory of the tripartite soul. The theory of the tripartite soul breaks the soul up into three separate parts: the rational, the appetitive, and the spirited. The Triforce also bears a similarity to Plato's idea of the tripartite soul. Each part of the Triforce correlates to a part of the tripartite soul. Power correlates to the appetitive part of the soul because it is driven by desire and can be subject to greed. Wisdom correlates to the rational part of the soul because it is driven by logic, and the virtue of reason is wisdom. Courage correlates to the spirited part of the soul because it is driven by emotion, and the virtue of the spirit is courage. It is likely that the concept of the Triforce and what it represents was directly influenced by Plato and his idea of the tripartite soul. Reincarnation is a central theme in the Legend of Zelda series. The three recurring characters are reborn in a cyclical manner. Their purpose is to maintain the balance of power, wisdom, and courage that is signified by the Triforce. Princess Zelda is a direct incarnation of the goddess Hylia and is reborn as her incarnation through many different life cycles. She awakens the chosen hero and protagonist of the story named Link. Link, the main protagonist of the series, is reborn through many life cycles as the chosen one in the story when the world is in need of a hero. The principal characters being reborn over various life cycles and eras point to a system of reincarnation. This is similar to the ideas of rebirth found in Eastern philosophies. In Hinduism, a soul is thought to enter life not as a new creation, but instead comes from a chain of many life cycles. Krishna, an incarnation of Vishnu, guides Arjuna in the same way that Zelda, an incarnation of Hylia, guides Link on his destined path. The presence of these two figures serve as divine guides. They help the hero of the story embrace their chosen path and fulfill their destined duty. In The Legend of Zelda, Link, the main hero and protagonist of each game, usually has to go through many trials before he is ready to save the world from evil. These trials unlock the potential wisdom, power, and courage within him and allow him to become fully actualized. The trials faced by Link shape him into the hero that he needs to become. This mirrors real-world virtue ethics. Aristotle, who studied under Plato, was famous for his development of systematic logic. He also spoke much about virtue ethics, believing that the development of virtue led to a fully flourished existence. Aristotle argued that everything has an end goal, and that the goodness of a thing is determined by realizing its purpose or goal. The trials and challenges faced by Link are meant to build virtue and allow him to fully flourish into his destined role. The concept of Dharma in Hinduism is complex, but one interpretation is to rise to your calling and live in alignment with your cosmic duty. Link's duty throughout each Legend of Zelda entry is the same: to save the world from evil. Link always rises to the occasion as a chosen hero that defeats evil, maintaining universal order. The three recurring main characters are continuously reborn in order to carry out the same role. They are predestined to live for the same purpose, over and over, through countless life cycles. This implies that they do not possess free will, and their fate has already been decided since before they come to be. The fact that the principal characters of the game are born cyclically in order to carry out a predetermined role reflects a fatalist reality in the Legend of Zelda universe. Fatalism is a view that free will does not exist, and that things are predetermined from the start. No matter the circumstances, Link was always destined to carry out his role as the hero of the story that defeats evil. Ganon is the main antagonist of the Zelda series. He is reborn through many timelines. One could argue that without Ganon, there would be no need for Link, the chosen hero, to exist. Ganon's existence is necessary to maintain the balance between good and evil. Thomas Aquinas was an Italian friar and priest whose philosophical works attempted to unite faith and reason. He explained that without evil, all the good loses its meaning. It is necessary for a contrast between good and evil to exist, to truly appreciate the good. In conclusion, the philosophical concepts found within the Legend of Zelda are vast. Creation stories that make sense of the world, embracing one's cosmic duty, attempts to justify the existence of evil, and trials that allow for human flourishing are but a few examples of what this video game franchise has to offer in terms of philosophy. My first source is a period article. My second source is a website. My third source is another period article. My fourth source is a college level philosophy book. Source number 5 is a period article. Source number 6 is another website. Source number 7 is a book. And source number 8 is another period article.